Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another live stream. Bear with me 2 seconds. I'm always late. 8:30 is when I'm meant to be on. It's 8:40. Absolutely shambolic. Just let me get the chat open and see who is around. Good evening, everyone, by the way. Andy Forrester, Dean Runner, and tonight we're going to be talking about different types of training methods that are out there. What is good, what is not, well, what we all like, what we enjoy. Bear with me whilst I get this open. My eye's still not right, is it? Types of training methods. There we go. Happy days. Good evening. Who is around? Who is around? Tell me. Comments. Got a cup of tea? Look at that. Inspirational message right there. Happy days. Adiata, good evening, mate. I hope you're well. Good evening, everybody. Blimey, 6 watching already. I hope you are all well. Tonight, let's talk about running training. It's been a funny old couple of weeks for me, to be honest with you, but it has kind of brought to the forefront of my mind different types of running training. Running Geek Girl, good evening. I hope you're well. Lee, good evening. I do sound like Donato. I've always got a cup of tea, mate. These last couple of weeks have been a bit of strange for me in terms of training. They have been very on and off. I haven't been able to ramp back up to where I am, and it kind of has got me thinking a lot about training types, training styles. Had a lot of really interesting comments on videos that have been coming in over the last few videos about resting up and being, well, taking things easy. And as I said, it's just made me think a lot about training methods. And I just thought what a great talking point that it could be to discuss the different types of training there are out there. Obviously, different training methods for different distances. Of course, you want to be more specific for certain areas, but there are some general principles followed in different areas of different methods, shall we say. And I thought it'd be great to discuss that and find out what you guys like to use as a rule of thumb on a weekly basis. Crazy Face, hello, good evening. Sandra, good evening. Here we are running. Chris, good evening. Gavin, hello, mate. Corey, mate, good evening. Corey and James Spooner, good evening, mate. I hope you are well. James, it'll be great for you to chime in, and obviously Corey and everyone, it'd be great to hear all of your thoughts tonight on your training methods. So I think the principle of tonight, as I said, with having been kind of laid up a little bit over the last few weeks and having a rest day yesterday where I'd normally have gone and done a session, has allowed me today to feel so much better. And it kind of made me sit back and think, how great I felt today and how I could have nailed a session today, and the importance of obviously running easy and da-da-da-da. So I thought tonight, let's discuss training methods. I'd love to hear in the comments what your principles of training are. If you're that rigid to training, if you just like to go out and run, I'd love to hear about that. If you even follow plans and things like that, I'd love to know your thoughts. I'm very jealous if you don't and you're very casual about your running. The Clueless Runners, good evening. Wow, morning for you. How are you? Great to hear from you. Royal Welsh Runner, good evening, mate. I hope you are well. So in terms of training, obviously we're going to pick this apart in distances. So we're going to obviously work our way down from like 5K all the way up to ultra marathons. I've been in a position at the moment, obviously, where I'm being coached by Doug from TMR Coaching. He's been absolutely phenomenal at the 4 races I've done this year. I've PB'd in 3 of the distances, and training methods, sort of working with him, has really been enlightening. It's been fantastic, and I genuinely wouldn't recommend it highly enough. But I've also been privileged enough to watch other people's training, and I'm always observing, I'm always asking questions, I'm always messaging people. I'm nosy like that, and because I love to know more and love to find out more. So in that respect, I think I've watched James, my friend, train for his 15 miler, which is this weekend, and I've obviously watched myself train for the marathon, and I've watched other athletes train for a lot of shorter distances. And there's a common denominator, I should say, between everyone's training, and that is the number of workouts in a week, whether they just do the 1, the 2, or the 3. Obviously, how many easy runs they do, how many tempo runs they do, but a lot of principles going from the 5K all the way up to ultramarathon is a lot of people follow the 80-20 rule. For those of you who don't know what that is 80% of your mileage is meant to be very easy, and then 20% of it is meant to be at a higher intensity. I believe, if I'm right in saying, the Maffetone method is obviously very popular and follows that sort of principle. A lot of people that do the Maffetone method, now I'd love to hear if any of you guys do use that method in here, that would be fantastic, because I know a lot of you do. I hear a lot of thoughts in the beginning where they sort of struggle to get into it because they end up running at such a low heart rate that they end up almost having to stop and walk, and it's very frustrating for the first few weeks. But then as they get into things, they absolutely soar and cruise through, and they say it's the best thing they've ever done. Now, from that respect, that's one big training type of method that I see a lot of. And then of course you've got other training methods that have spin-offs of different principles. Arthur Lydiard has his training methods. You've got I've got a book upstairs. I've got Jack Daniel's Running Formula book upstairs. That's a fantastic read. Again, all of these have very common pinpoints, pillars in their training, and obviously the key element for a lot of it is easy running. So I guess the first question to you guys is not only training but methods, but do you stick to an 80-20 rule? I'd love to hear that, because a lot of training methods do still use that principle. So let me know in the comments, do you use the 80-20 rule? Good evening, Ian, I hope you're well. Royal Welsh Runner, you've got Maranoia kicking in. When is your marathon, mate? It's got to be soon, isn't it? Or is it the ultra? Alan, good evening. I hope you are well. Royal Welsh Runner, yes, exactly. So I follow you on Strava, of course, and I watch your training, and I see that you are a massive advocate of the Maffetone method, which is fantastic. Again, I hear only good things about it. Apparently, hello from Brittany. You're on holiday. Amazing. Jealous. I went there about 3 years ago. Beautiful part of France. Crazy face. Math, post links, please. Math stands for Maffetone method. If you Google the I can't even say it, Maffetone method of running training, then you will find out. If someone is in a position to do that and drop a link in, that would be fantastic, because I've got my hands full. So yeah, and Sunday Yeovil. Oh mate, best of luck. Do you know, true story, I contemplated doing that straight after my marathon disaster at Newport. I was looking for other marathons and I contemplated that marathon. Obviously I didn't in the end. I'm going to go for an October one, but Graham, you use it for the triathlon as well. Yeah, see, it's such a popular training method. Clueless Runners training for the Ultraman at the moment, and the mileage for swim, bike, run is just bulk, time and distance. Yeah, so again, triathlons and ultra marathons are a different ballgame. So okay, this is going to spin off into the next thing. So I've asked you guys the question, 80-20, who uses that principle? But if I go off into, if I compare my training that I've recently done, marathon training, to what James has been doing. So James, for his ultra marathon, his 50 miler coming up, Race to the Tower this weekend, he has been doing a lot more low intensity runs. So his weekend long runs, if you guys remember, some videos on the channel that I've been doing have been all about long run workouts. Been doing a lot of those, and they are incredible for marathon training. I would not consider a training plan that didn't have long run workouts in them. Yet when it comes to ultra marathons, you've got to be prepared for time on your feet, you've got to be prepared for the long slog, you've got to be prepared for the mental battle. And James has been out there some of his long runs for 5 hours, and I think he peaked at 6 hours a few weeks back, and now he's obviously weaning it back down. But it's about getting in the mileage, spending time on your feet, because ultimately for a 50-mile race he's going to be out there for a long time. And I know he has time goals, but you know, we're going to be talking obviously probably, I don't know, in excess of 8 hours, maybe nearer 10. I don't know off the top of my head. So there's a completely different variation in types of training for an ultra. And obviously the Clueless Runners, those guys do a lot of ultras. I watch their videos. They've got a fantastic channel, by the way, and they do ultra marathons. So the training for the two is completely different. And again, any ultra runners in the comments, would love to hear your thoughts on that, because James was still doing 2 or 3 workouts a week, but for example, his workouts were more like 2 by 10 minute intervals, or 3 by 10 minutes in the beginning, progressing up to some longer intervals. Whereas again, in marathon training, you're talking about in the beginning starting at sort of 2 or 3 minute interval reps, and then progressing up like I was doing in the long run workouts for the 3 by 20 minutes, but in the midweek sessions doing only maybe 6-7 minute reps, whereas James in the midweek sessions was ultimately doing 10-15 minute reps in the midweek, and then on the weekend doing either an hour run on one day and then a long run on the day after. It was insane, just the different types of training. I read the art of running faster, and that's a very good book. That's a book recommendation there, guys. Good to hear. Good to hear. Royal Welsh Runner. All my training is Maffetone method, maximum aerobic function, apart from the long run workout on a Sunday, which is one of Andy's favourites, is a staple of my blocker plans. Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest with you, I would not consider a plan without them. So Ian, this is interesting. Ian Tyres and Trainers, who's also training for Ironman Wales, so triathlon, the most ridiculous, incredible race I've ever seen. He's running, biking, swimming, like as the Clueless runner said. And out of his 4 runs that he does a week, only 1 of them is at high intensity. So 3 of his obviously are at an easier pace. James Spooner, lots of easy runs is crucial for aerobic base. I run most of my PBs off 1 fast session per week, usually lactate threshold or marathon pace or a mix, and a decent medium long run at around marathon pace plus 10 to 20%. Interesting. I run things. Hi, good evening. Yes, James, I have obviously followed your training, and you're a very successful marathon runner, 2:45 for people that are watching, so he knows what he's talking about. Everything else is easy or recovery pace as it's dictated by the heart rate and legs, no set pace. And something interesting on that comment is that I've been speaking to a few people lately, and one of the people I've been speaking to actually are very fortunate, and some of you might have seen his comment in my last video from Chris Bird. Now, Chris Bird, if you go back to my video of my 10K training series week 1, he commented, gave me a few pointers. He was the winner of the Newport Marathon on the day, so he ran a 2:30 on the day, and I was, bless him, so good, gave up his time. I was messaging him, asking him some questions, and he was, you know, giving me some great advice. It was fantastic. And he ultimately was sort of talking to me about what he did and how he ran. And he said the principle, the basic principle, because he uses heart rate training like I do, your body does not understand pace. It only understands intensity. So picking up from James's point there, obviously, naturally, if I go out and run 6:30 pace per minute mile one day, and then I do it another day, my heart rate might be slightly different by 2 or 3 beats a minute. That's because my body doesn't understand the pace. I'm telling my body to run at a certain pace, but my body on a certain given day, depending on the stresses it's had, whether it's morning, whether it's night, whether I've had a long day, whether I've not got any sleep, is not going to be able to tell the difference in that pace. It's going to go, whoa, I'm working harder to hold that pace, therefore my heart rate is going to be higher. So it is really important to dictate your pace based on, and that's why heart rate training I find is good. Complete heart rate training convert here, got to put my hands up. It's fantastic to sort of learn and listen to your body and find on certain days that you can run a marathon and other days you couldn't run 10K. It's fantastic. Yes, mate, 2:30, and he's such a nice chap. He gave up his time to talk. I was speaking to him for about an hour on the evening of after the Newport Marathon. He was awesome. I've only got heart rate data field on my watch. Yeah, so it's fantastic. Yes, so it is an interesting theory, and I'm going to steer this in another direction now. I'm going to take this down another road, going to throw another curveball out there for you. So again, fire questions at me. Something that a lot of you are touching on at the moment, workouts per week. Let's talk about workouts per week. How many do you do? Do you do 1? Do you do 2? Do you do 3? I'm also noticing, by the way, guys, that my internet seems to be glitching a little bit. Is everything okay in the chat, or can you see me all right? Because I'm getting a little loading timer sometimes. Let's talk about workouts. Hold on. Good evening, Colin, mate. Welcome. Corey says, never had a training plan, but I stick to a training structure. I normally speed train on a Tuesdays and Thursdays with Forest Dean Athletics Club. So Corey is one of my club members. You've seen him in some of my videos. And an easy run in between and just enjoy the weekend with no races. Exactly. And in fact, Corey, I will be with you at the Rosing Relays on Tuesday night. So I will watch you streaking off into the distance because I am nowhere near fit for that sort of thing. Scott, good evening, mate. I hope you are well. Similarly, I aim to go out and run slow. 3:23 marathon PB. That's fantastic, mate. 1:29.5. Awesome. You've broken the 1:30 barrier. That is a barrier that took me a blooming long time to break. And whenever I put my trainers on, I then seem to go balls to the wall, 7-minute pace for 6. I used to do that a lot. That's a great saying, balls to the wall pace. Yeah, it's very difficult to be disciplined. I think what you have to remember is, and again, this is some fantastic advice that I've been given by loads of people, including Chris, as I said earlier, is that your body only sort of gets those training adaptations and the benefits when you are resting and recovering, not when you're actually running. So obviously when you're resting and recovering, that's when things happen. So if you are constantly beating your body up with fast, intense runs and you're not giving your body too much time to recover, you're going to struggle to sort of, you're going to get better, but it's going to be at a lot slower rate. So I would maybe chuck a couple of easy runs in there and not go balls to the wall too much. So I run things, okay, 2 speed sessions. So I need to do 1. I do 3, as you've probably noticed. Now, sip of tea. I'm going to throw something out to you here. Charlotte Purdue, when she came across the finish line at London Marathon, she ran a 2:25 marathon, obviously first British female across the line. Now, bearing in mind, I've been running 3 speed sessions, well, since I've been training with Doug, and sometimes before, because I class my long run workout as a workout, and I always work out on a Tuesday and a Thursday. So technically I do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and now I'm running easy, or I always have run easy on the Monday and Wednesday in between. And obviously those workouts have a lot of easy mileage sandwiched around them. So I do end up I'm pretty much on the 80-20 rule still. Sometimes it's 75-25, I have worked it out, but most of my easy miles correlates to 80% of my weekly miles. But I do 3 sessions a week. Now, I've always sworn by this, because I know a lot of people shy away from it because they say you need your body to relax and adapt. And I get that, I do, but I don't know. It's always worked for me. And I remember speaking to Doug in the beginning when he took me on as a client, and I said to him, I am one of those people that likes 3 workouts a week. And with Team TMR coaching, he does prescribe a lot of 3 workouts a week for a lot of his athletes. And me, James, I don't know, Ian, who's doing a try, I don't know. We're all doing 3 workouts a week. I enjoy it. However, it does come with consequences. And as I said, going back to Charlotte Purdue, when she gave that interview after the London Marathon, she said we took risks with training this time. And they said, oh, do you want to elaborate on that? What do you mean? And she said, in her words, we've been doing 3 workouts a week, not 2. And it was really interesting to hear, because I think a lot of people, and I myself have been one for people messaging me saying you do too much, you do too much, you do too many workouts. And I hear you. I understand that it's not everyone's cup of tea to do 3 workouts a week. I enjoy it. Not everyone does, because I am just a competitive person and I like to thrash my body and go all out. That has consequences, like off the back of this marathon. Obviously, I put my body through a lot after 18 weeks. It's taken a long time to get back to normal, but I'm pretty much there now. A lot of people don't like it, but it was really interesting to hear someone at Charlotte Purdue's stature and level talking in that way about 3 workouts a week. And she said it paid dividends, it worked, and it does work. It does work as long as you are clever and you sandwich your workouts within some good easy miles. So I will always do 2 miles warm up, 2 miles cool down. So think of it this way: tomorrow night I've got 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off. That's 20 minutes worth of high intensity workout. In and around that, I'm going to have 15 minutes, well, 15, 16 minutes warm up, 16 minutes cool down, roughly 8-minute miling, and then the floats in between each set. My heart rate's gradually going to come back down. So the majority of my mileage on that session, still, it's not going to be 80%. I'm talking about 80-20 across the week, but the majority of my mileage tomorrow night will still be easy. It will still be easy, but there'll be 20 minutes in there, which will be hard, and I enjoy it. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are. How many workouts a week do you do? Gosh, way too many questions. Yes, I Run Things does 2 now. That's awesome. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you can see me. It's just on my timer here, it keeps spinning, and I don't know if that's my internet connection. So 6 sessions a week for me, workout only in my long run. So there we go. So there's completely the opposite end of the spectrum. Crazy face. Park run, long run, 6 miles plus, short run. Sounds good. And park run, do you push at park run? Is that something you push at? Do you go harder at park run than your long run and your other short run? Corey, yes. Yeah, exactly, mate. I'm looking forward to it. I've never done it. 4 miles. It's on flat tarmac. Should be interesting. I want to try and hit PB 10K pace, which is 5:50, because I'm completely unfit and I don't even know if that's possible. So I will watch you streak off into the distance, because I have seen your paces on your other ones you've done. 12 sessions for me. Okay, so just to clarify, guys, when I say sessions, I don't mean number of runs, I mean number of actual workouts. I should have been more clearer. So out of the 5 runs I do a week, I do 3 sessions, 3 workouts, but obviously sandwiched within a lot of easy running. Royal Welsh Runner, Ironman Wales is no joke. He knows, mate. Scott, mate, no problem at all. God, I'm getting lost, man. I don't think I do. No, to be honest with you, 3 is quite intense. It can really take its toll. You have to be prepared. I remember in my training blocks, there were times when I was missing the old one. So maybe 2 weeks out of 3 weeks, I would do my 3, and then maybe I'd drop a workout on the 3rd week on a down week, or whenever the down week was, just to recover. All my sessions would be a lot lighter and a lot less. 3 sessions. I mean, for me, I run my sessions totally dependent on how I'm feeling due to sciatica. And oh no, mate, that's not good. Jeffrey, good evening. I'm enjoying the videos that you are putting out at the moment. That Helderberg Farm mountain never gets old. What a trail up there. What's your long run video tonight? Flipping awesome. Intensity, frequency, and duration. I also, Scott, I also really admire your honesty in the Newport Marathon. I vlogged all 16 weeks of my training and race day for London. Did you? Do I subscribe to your channel? Let me, I'll check afterwards. I vlogged, not sure I would have been that honest. You have to, do you know what? I think it's really tough, but you have to. This is a topic for another video, okay? But there are lots of people on social media that throw out so much BS. It is unreal, and it makes my blood boil. And honesty seems to have just evaporated into the sunset for so many people. It's difficult to find a channel that isn't all singy dancey, happy, look at me, look at how great I am, look at my training. I am very much the type of person of, right, guys, this is my training, this is my journey, here are the highs, here are the lows. I put my hands up. I messed up at Newport Marathon. I did not once look at my heart rate with the intent of following what my heart rate was doing. I was running to pace and just checking my heart rate, and I should have been doing it the other way around. And if I'd have done that, I'd have realized my heart rate was too high. I would have backed off, and I'd have come in at around 257, 258. But I decided not to, and it's completely my fault. I think it's important to remember everyone is different. Some thrive off more speed, but for me, I find I need high mileage to get anywhere, and to manage that, I can't. No, exactly. So James, for example, 245 marathon, he gets up to 100-mile weeks. I think at the moment, from a rightly, you're around about 70, 80, 90 miles, around there. So naturally, when you're running that sort of mileage, it takes a while to get used to that, and then your body to kind of adapt to putting. Sorry, I've just seen the comment below. Sorry, train hard, race easy. Yeah, exactly. I love that. That's a great caption. Train hard, work hard in training, and race easy. So you go to your race feeling comfortable and enjoy it. Brilliant, Neil. There isn't one, exactly. There isn't one, and that's why there are so many methods out there, and that's why you see a lot of people trying different methods until they hit the one that they feel works for them. All out at park run. Nice, good. It's not park run, it's park race. Anyone that tells me it's not a fun jog is a lie. It's turned into a race every weekend. I've still never done a park run ever, because it is the day that I do my long run. Good evening, Depths John. I have limited time to train, so I tend to train a bit faster than I should, but I have longer rest between runs. I run 4 times a week. That's awesome, mate. 4 times a week is good. You should do that. sometimes if you go fast on all 4 runs, obviously naturally. I remember when I started running, I ran 5 times a week for the first 3 months, and I went balls out every single run, and I was doing like 2-mile runs, 3-mile runs. I was just seeing how quick I could do the loop, assuming that if I did the loop quicker, and then I would wonder why one day I could do it at one pace and the next day I was slower, thinking that's not right. And it took me a while to get my head around that you need to drop back easy a bit. Do I strength train? 100% I do. I was in the gym earlier. I did an hour in the gym twice a week. Imperative for getting a better runner. I have lots of flaws in my mechanics, a weak back, weak hips, and I work on them constantly. Talk us through your strength training routine. Okay, so I do lots of, I'm trying to learn the terminology. So I do lots of leg work and lots of hip work. So let me give you an idea as to what I do. So today I did, when it loads up, come on. So straight leg sit-ups, straight leg raises, single leg balances with some dumbbells in each hands for balance and ankle stability, because my ankles aren't fantastic. I always say in a lot of videos, my ankles feel quite weak, even though I do run a lot of trails. Did some squats today, worked on the legs then with the squats, did some single legs split squats, I think they're called, where you put your one leg up behind you. You can do them on a park bench, but I did it. There was a block in the gym, so I put my leg on the block. I was holding 2 5-kilogram dumbbells, doing 3 sets of 10, I think it was. Then normal squats. I chucked in a couple of my own things for my core. So I did some before I did some kettlebell swings, which is where you hold the kettlebell between your legs and you swing it up, and you're thrusting through with your hip to strengthen your hips. Then did some core stuff. I can't explain what I do with core because I don't know what they're called, but I do a lot of core work. That's about all I got around to doing today. Some calf raises on tiptoes with dumbbells in my hands. And then I did, as I said, my my core work. So that was today, along with some reverse flies on a cable machine where you're holding 2 cables behind you and you're pulling forward to work on the upper back. So I tend to do a lot of that. I also do a lot of shoulder work sometimes, a lot more leg work on the leg press sometimes. Walking lunges are great. Didn't do those today, but I do forward and reverse walking lunges with dumbbells in them. So I do loads. I will do a video on it. I did one a while ago, but my strength training routine has changed. Oh my goodness. Yes, Jeffrey's getting a lot of love for his videos, definitely. Dan, good evening, mate. Corey says 2 speed sessions a week. So he trains with Forest City Athletic Club Tuesday and Thursday. And then often a brisk part run followed by a mid-long run the next day. The carrot. No, I know. I run cross country, but only 3 times. I run cross country, but only run 3 times intensity a week. Is it worth running every day more easy? Unfortunately, mate, I'm not the right person to ask, and I would never want to blag my way through a question. I've never run cross country, if I'm honest with you. I'm one of those runners that's never done it. I know a lot of cross country runners, and again, they follow a very similar training structure. They took a tempo run in, they do their workouts, but ultimately, again, they do a lot of easy miles. So again, we're talking about the same principle here. So I can't comment specifically on cross country, but as I said, I know a lot of cross country runners. They do a similar principle, lots of easy runs in the middle, but they do lots of quite high intense track workouts. That seems to be the difference between cross country runners. So whereas I might do more like 2, 3, 4 minute intervals, cross country runners might, well, you'll know from a workout perspective, maybe do more pyramid workouts, 200s, 400s, 600 8s and back down, or some shorter, sharper 200 meter repeats, that sort of thing, to 400 meter to 800 meter to up to kilometer. So yes, I apologize, I don't know. Yeah, 1 hour twice a week. Yeah, I found a massive benefit. Scott, thank you so much, mate. Much appreciated. Have you increased your? ask a question to them. I'm doing lateral leg raises as I watch this and a few bodyweight exercises while watching TV. Yeah, exactly. You can do it at home. I try to focus on balance, to be fair, and do everything on one leg. One-legged exercises are incredible. So if you watch a lot of my videos, you will know that and you are an eagle-eye viewer, you will see that I have a lot of my right leg, my right knee collapses inwards, and then my right foot turns outwards. That is something I've had for a long time. If you go all the way back to some of my early videos, you will see the improvement in that, because my leg used to really kick out and now it's not kicking out so much, and that's all being worked on at the gym, strengthening. That comes all the way up from an imbalance in the glute and can work all the way down. So by working on those glutes, I'm hopefully fixed. Well, I can see I'm fixing the problem. We get in there. Dan, I know you do a lot. You post a lot on your Instagram about your yoga and flexibility work, and that's fantastic. That's really, really good. Guys, 5-minute call. 5-minute call, I think. Then we will wrap this up. You guys have been fantastic tonight. If you have any other questions about training methods, I would love to hear about them. Your thoughts on anything you do and any questions you have. Any questions, just fire them at me. The only other thing I was going to talk about a little bit, not just on the number of workouts tonight, was again, depending on distance, talking about ultra running all the way down to 5Ks and cross countries, as someone has put in the chat there. Do the number of workouts differ from the distance of race you're training for? And ultimately, from what you guys are saying, no. You're all doing either 1, 2, or 3 workouts a week, doing different methods, but that's not dependent on the distance. That's just dependent on the training method you're doing, which is really interesting. So that, I guess, answers that question. Yes, more miles but slower. Wednesdays are hills, intervals. Oh, hills are fantastic. I don't do enough hills. I love hill work. They break me, but I do love it. Park run as a tempo is a very popular thing, and actually, as I said, I've never done a park run before, but we do have another park run opening up quite close to where I live, only about 3 miles away, 3.5 miles away, down at somewhere called Mallard's Pike, which is a nice lake that I run around a lot. And I've contemplated on a Saturday morning trying to incorporate that, maybe just trying to get down to that park run, because the other park run, the Forest of Dean one over on the other site, is 5.5 miles away, and that's a heck of a long warm-up. I'm not disciplined enough to do workouts at home. Why do you think I go to the gym, mate? If I'm not running, I'm sat on the sofa itching to get out and do something. Like tonight, I was just like, I need to talk to people. I need to do something. I cannot sit on but I can't motivate myself to do any form of workout. It's terrible. Yeah, exactly. Well, see, now I'm the opposite. It's not getting up early enough that's my problem. For me, it's more a case of it's my long run day. So Saturday morning is my long run day, my workout day. So if it was Sunday, then I would do park run, but it's not a Saturday because I do struggle with running on a Sunday with family things and what kids want to do and all that. So yeah, I don't like the gym unless I'm on a Stairmaster. Oh, stairs. Right, I think that's my cue, guys, to wrap this up. Any final questions? Whack them in the comments, and if you guys would be good enough, please hit a like on the video, because it really does help the channel, hitting that like button. I really do appreciate it, and obviously all your support. I love these live streams. I wish I could do them weekly. I can't, but I do them as much as I can, and it's just great to talk to you all. It's just such a better thing, rather than me just pumping videos out, to be able to actually sit and talk to you. Stairmaster Dan, I feel a meme coming on about a Stairmaster in you. All these comments. So yeah, if you'd be good enough, guys, do hit that like button. That'd be fantastic. Any other questions, fire them in. Other than that, any other questions on training methods, I'd love to hear your thoughts. As I said, today I managed to get, and of course, who ran today on Global Running Day? Who thought of it being Global Running Day? Isn't every day Global Running Day? Oh, Welsh Doberman, Andy, good evening, mate. I am feeling a lot better, mate. Thank you very much. I had the rest day on Tuesday, and I've gone out today, and I feel $1 million. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow's session now. You have a stag do on Friday before Yeovil on Sunday. I'll say no more. Meme coming, good man. Lee, thank you, mate. Jeffrey, thank you. Oh, you didn't run, Dan. Come on. Global Running Day. I mean, I woke up this morning and I saw Global Running Day. I thought, what is that all about? Apparently it's Global Running Day today. I just happened to have a run. If I wasn't running, I wouldn't have run. Every day is running day today. Apparently thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in on your holiday. That's bloody awesome. Really, really appreciate it. Lee, fantastic, mate. Well done. I did see your post in 40's group. Brilliant, man. Good stuff. Right, let's wrap it there, guys. It is 9:15 now. I am going to eat some crisps and go to bed. So, as I said, one final call. If you'd be good enough, please do hit that like button. I really appreciate it. If you're new into the chat tonight or you're new watching the video, please do hit that subscribe button for weekly running videos. And I will see you next time. We ran around Karnak today on the trails. Brilliant. Fantastic. Oh, so jealous. I love Brittany. As I said, we went there three years ago. Lovely place. Dan, thank you, mate. Don't thank me. Thank you. My parents. That's awesome. Fantastic. Right, guys, I am signing off. I will see you all on another day for another video very soon. Until then.